Yes, yes.
Thoughts?
Personally, I would like it downtown. Um, but I think it's called Brook Park is the town. It's like maybe 5 miles from the airport, and it's maybe 10 miles, 12 miles from downtown. So it's not too far from the downtown area where you're like sucking the life out of downtown. I think a lot of people would go downtown and then maybe Uber to the game or, park, maybe go eat or go to some bars up downtown and then go to the game after or vice versa, whatever it might be. But the location is probably nice. And if you look at a lot of these NFLs, like I know where the Chiefs play, it's in the middle of nowhere. Like it's not in downtown Kansas City. If you look at the Rams and Chargers where they play Inglewood, that's nowhere. It's near LA, but it's nowhere near the city.
Right.
So it's like you do need a lot of land. But if the city of Cleveland, and again, I'm sure they don't want to pay hundreds of millions of dollars in taxes and taxpayer money. I get that. And that's a whole other discussion. But if they're not going to work with you on what you want with a vision, then you might have to say, this isn't an idle threat anymore. We're going to go buy this, whatever 170 acres of land is. And if you're not going to work with us, we're going to build that there. So
a little bit of leverage, a little threat that look how serious we are kind of thing.
My only qualm with anything they want to do, and it's not even an argument yet because we haven't seen any plans, you have to put a roof on that thing. I don't care if it's retractable. Retractable is the best of both worlds because if it's nice, open weather, sunshine, the wind, the breeze, whatever. But when it's snow flurries or when it's cold and miserable, like I get the whole sentiment of like football is tough guy, cold weather. No, it's not. No, it's not. Like, I think that's an old adage from like the 70s, 80s.
What if we put snow machines on the side so that we could blow snow on the field and have it under a roof, like they do skiing?
Or to each their own.
That's it. That'd be awesome. Muddy it up a little bit. We can still have.
I don't even mind if they cut like a tiny little open hole in the top. Whatever. Do whatever you want, but make it where you can have it all year round events, because think about the hundreds and hundreds of millions of dollars they're missing out on. So I'm not a WWE fan. I don't watch it, but think about a WrestleMania event in the city of Cleveland where you can have 70,000 people there. The millions and millions coming in. Think about a Final Four in Cleveland. Think about a Big Ten championship or even an Ohio State playoff game. Ohio State, the way they play football, does not want to play outdoors in December. They want to play on a fast track in a controlled climate. I'm thinking Ohio State would probably have their playoff games in Cleveland because the horseshoe is the horseshoe. It's iconic. You're not putting a dome on that. But you also play home football games only till November. So if you have the option of playing in Cleveland, that's an hour and a half, hour and 40-minute drive up from Columbus. You play that game in Cleveland, you're getting the vast majority. It's going to feel like a bowl atmosphere because you're not in your home stadium, but it's going to be all Ohio State fans. So you think an Ohio State playoff game or Big Ten championship game, you think Final Four, there's unlimited events, conferences, conventions, whatever. You put it in that stadium, Taylor Swift concerts, whatever it might be. And I know she's played in Cleveland before in July or May or something, but that's when the weather's nice. And so to have a venue only, let's say 8 home games, 2 preseason, and then 2 concerts a year. So you're talking 12 dates out of 365, but you still got to keep all the upkeep. You still got to do all the, the plumbing, the electric, all that stuff. It's not worth it. So if you can fill that with 100 to 200 more dates, think about all that revenue that comes in, all the jobs. So it's not just for the Browns. It's for the city of Cleveland.
Right.
So
Here's an interesting. Let's say hypothetically they move it outside of the downtown. They can build up a ton more in the complex and the facility. It can be a lot more parking, whatever. Do you think they bring the training facility from Berea and build a Cleveland Browns campus?
That would be cool. I don't see why not. I mean, Berea is probably not very far from there because I know Berea is right by the airport. So at worst, you got a 10-minute drive from the facility to there.
As a fan, like, so much easier to get into, so much more parking near the stadium. I think the footprint in Cleveland's a little small to be able to probably do a lot of what they'd like to do.
Yeah. And if you think about it too, what that could mean for downtown is you have all that room on the lakefront where they should be building restaurants, bars, make it like a mini Chicago. Cleveland's not the size of Chicago, but it has the potential to be just as nice, if not as nice as the city of Chicago with that kind of stuff. So I don't know, like, would you rather have it downtown or would you rather have it outside?
Coin flip, man. Yeah. I love elements of being downtown, but I just know that we're never going to get the technological marvel on that plot.
Yeah. And from what I hear, it would be like wherever that airport, I don't know if
Burke Lakefront.
Is that Burke?
I think so, yeah.
So wherever that is, that's kind of where they would envision it. But you still have the same problem because Cleveland, like many others, or like very few other cities, you can only go east, west, or south. You can't go north.
Right.
So there's only 3 entrances unless you're having a bunch of people pull up in boats, So you got Lake Erie there. It's a nice feature to have, but it also limits your access in and out of the stadium. Yep. So
it's a cluster getting in and out of there sometimes. Absolutely.
Really is. It really is. There's the Muni lot and there's all those side streets and like different ways to get downtown, but it is not convenient. And to your point, that might open up a lot of, and maybe, it just extends the downtown area and maybe that opens up some things. But I would like to see downtown be a lively venue for sports, for entertainment, for all that stuff. But you're not taking away. I think you're adding to, you're taking somewhat away from the downtown, but if you're bringing in that many more dates, people are going downtown to stay downtown in hotels. People are going to go eat. I'm sure there's going to be a bunch of restaurants and whatever built up by there too, but it's like that's only going to benefit the city as a whole, no matter if it's in Brook Park or downtown.
Yeah, so I just like that, you had Jacobs Field, Gund Arena, and I know. It's
not 1993, Joe.
I know, but I just like how that row of all of our stadiums was so impressive.
It really is cool. And Cleveland is a city that thrives based on its sports teams because, there are a bunch of Fortune 500 businesses down there, but it's not the New York City. It's not LA. Cleveland is known for its sports teams. And those cities kind of are in a way too, but Cleveland thrives when its sports teams are doing well. The Cavs are killing it right now. The Guardians, they actually have been doing well in attendance last year. But when the Browns are doing well, there's no better place to be than downtown. But just put a roof on it. And if anybody can tell me why, if anyone that went to that, was it the Saints they played on Christmas a couple of years ago, and it was like -10 degrees. Did anyone have fun at that game? That sounds absolutely miserable to me. Whereas, you go into a climate controlled, the nicest stadium I've ever been to is Lucas Oil, which is in Indianapolis. But the other people I know, they said the nicest stadium they've ever been to is in Minneapolis, another cold weather city, very similar size to Cleveland. And it is the nicest stadium in the NFL. It looks like a freaking pirate ship because they're the Vikings, but it is beautiful. It's nice. It has glass windows, so you have the outdoor indoor feel. And so my only thing would be just get it right. You got to get it right. There's no half-ass in it. If you're going for it, do it right. And hopefully they don't put the taxpayer money completely on the line. They have some sort of negotiation and bargaining there. So
you would think though